Hiya, and welcome back to Heart of Amethyst. The game that teaches us that... I can't think of anything. Is this a story about Amethyst? This is not a story about Amethyst. If it was, I'd be laughing my ass off, but it's not. I don't know. It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute. Welcome. Anyways, let's just hop right in. I don't know which file is which. The game that teaches us that 2 plus 2 is 4. Yes. They knew. They ought to be ready for what's coming. I was feeling like shit by the time we made it to the castle. All that drinking and walking must have drained my energy, and I was not feeling mentally stable either. To say that my mind was all over the place would be an understatement. I now have to face an even bigger threat than I feared. What can I even do against such a big organization as the church? Do I even stand a chance? My distress must have been apparent to Almond, who, in an attempt to calm me down, grabs my hand and leads me towards the entrance of the main castle. Once we made it there, I'm immediately astonished by the beauty of the structure in front of me. Oh wow. It's so big that it may as well be touching the sky, given the building an air of grandeur. Okay, that is a big house. It must have... I'm not gonna make that joke. I'm not gonna say that. I don't know. It is very pretty. It's very pretty. At the same time, every single corner of the castle seems very well taken care of. There's not a single spot or stain in any of its walls. The metal inscriptions and decorations shine like pearls. Wait, did his face change? It did. He's doing the O. All the banners hanging from it have not been shredded in any sort of way, and the marble statue that decorates the center of the garden ends the whole display on a high note. Simply a work of art that cannot be compared to anything I've ever seen before. Not even the castle back in Rose Island. Quite the sight, eh? It's beautiful! Glad you like it. Because we're going to be spending the next week here, mate. Really? I thought we were just staying the night. For the ball and all. I said to Almond, feeling a little confused as I have not been informed of this change of plans. Well, that was the plan, but the king decided to stay for a few days. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. I thought he told you, mate. I never heard of it. Oh, well, don't feel too bad. I was informed about it in the same morning of our trip here, so maybe it was a last-minute decision he just forgot. Yeah. The king doesn't strike me as the kind of man that would just forget about stuff like this. But Almond has a point, he's old. So maybe he did indeed just forget about it. In any case, I decide not to dwell on it as I follow Almond further into the garden. So, a big party, eh? Yes, pretty big. Prince's birthday and all. I'm gonna grab something real quick. There, where is it? Where's the... Oh, there's the thing. Yay! Yes, pretty big. Prince's birthday and all. And what type of stuff do you do in a party like this? Oh, you know, the usual. I wait for the wolf to elaborate, but the answer never comes. He just stands there, awkwardly scratching the back of his neck. I cannot say what I want to say. I get impatient and nudge him on the side. Could you be more precise, please? Kinda new on this. Well, you see, I'm not that good at it either, mate. You kinda barking at the wrong tree here. Well, any recommendations? Don't talk to strangers? So, don't talk to anybody. Gotcha. We both share a chuckle as we close into a big crowd that has formed in front of the entrance. All of these people look really important and fancy, making me feel really out of place among them. Almond guides me to an entrance furthest away from the main one, in which a wolf knight is standing guard. Identify yourselves, the man says with a demanding voice. I instinctively hide behind Almond, who luckily takes the initiative and speaks. We are the king's retainers, Sir Almond and Sir Eli. The king informed you of our presence? The wolf eyes us up and down, trying to guess if what Almond is saying is true or not. But before the man can speak again, a very weak voice interrupts the conversation. Yes! Let them through, please. To my delight, a known face makes his appearance from behind the big guard. Oh, I thought it was an old man. It's not, it's our little bitch. It's our bitch. The small dog seems as nervous as always, but he manages to spare me a smile as he sees me. Very well. This way, please. The guard opens a wooden door that leads to a dark hallway, illuminated only by a few candles. I need to figure out how to do the voices again. Because I forgot them. You go on ahead, mate. I'll catch up to you later. I'm just going to do that voice. I really don't want to be there more than necessary, so I'll arrive a little late. I nod to that and then enter the hallway, waving my hand to him before the door closes. Oh god, the things I would do are not illegal, but I can't say them here. Before I can muster a word, I get dragged through endless corridors within the castle. This is far darker than I expected, making me feel a little nervous. Zack explains that we are beneath the main hall, some sort of secret passages, that according to him are not really secret at all. And what are these used for? Mostly for moving around. The servants in the main castle have many tasks to perform daily, so these will help with getting from one place to another more efficiently. Although you need to learn the layout first. Goddesses know I got lost so many times as a rookie. You used to work here? Yes, I was adopted by the royal family when I was still just a baby. I was an orphan. They, raised me to be what I am. I owe them a lot. So you've been working as a butler since you were a kid. Not that you're a kid right now, but, I mean, even younger. Yeah, since I was 5. Aw, I would pay to see you in your cute little butler outfit. You must have been such a cute kid. Zack refrains from saying something. Instead, he just whines like a little puppy, his cheeks burning bright red even through the darkness of the hallway. In any case, the conversation dies there as we reach a changing room, which, according to Zack, we will use to get me into my party attire. I don't know if I have to censor. This place is not very spacious, but I don't get much time to explore as the little butler insists for me to get on my underwear. Oh yeah, totally, he totally does. I'm about to make a dirty joke about that, but he seems in a hurry, so I refrain from it. Oh, damn. Do as he says and strip my dirty clothes, dropping them on the ground. Then proceeds to spray me with the heavy-smelling cologne that almost drowns me. The scent is so strong that I swear made me tear up. Before I can catch my breath, he puts layer after layer of clothes on top of me, each more tight than the previous one. Master, please. Stay still. I need to button this. Buddy, if you do that, I might suffocate. And I wish I were joking, but I'm not. This gotta be the most uncomfortable attire that I've ever worn. Like, seriously. Who would put this on willingly? We're almost done. Please be patient. Just get it over with, buddy. Yes, just one last strap, and... He tightens the last piece of clothing around my back and my chest, and I promise you I heard my ribs cracking. They're all done. You look dashing, sire. I can't breathe. After suffering through that, I exited the room and headed towards the main hall. Zack left my side before I made it to the door. He told me that he wasn't allowed there, as only the top butlers and maids were able to serve in big parties. Aw, damn, he's not in a maid dress. Sad. Makes sense, after all, he's just an apprentice. So, I said my goodbyes to him with a hug and left him be. Goddesses know the poor kid must be super busy. Now back to the present. I'm standing in front of the door to the main hall, which is enormous. He does look nice. Almost as big as a 3-story house. I wait in front of it for a few seconds before I notice that the guests are not actually entering through the door, but rather a smaller side door to the right. I wonder why even build such a big door? I mean, if you're not going to use it, why put it here in the first place? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, so not wishing to waste any more time, I move in line with the rest of them. By the door, there's a fancy-looking Samoyed butler picking up invitations. As I notice I don't have one of those, I start to panic. I have no invitation. I was never given one. What am I supposed to do? Do I try to find one of the others? Or is there an entrance for the retainers? My mind starts to race, but before I can do anything about it, I find myself in front of the line. A very tired Samoyed looking down on me. Invitation, he coldly says, extending his hand towards me. I, don't have one, sir. He lifts his eyebrow at me and then sighs. Name? Eli? Eli Biscotti? Sir Biscotti, come in. King retainers don't need an invitation. I hear some murmurs behind me, people talking about what's taking so long and criticizing me for wasting their time. Girl! It's called anxiety! Fuck off! I try to give them no importance, but they start to bluntly say some nasty things. So the rumors were true. Yes, he's a commoner that almost killed the king. What is this world coming to? A nasty commoner like him walking on these grounds? I've heard that all the king retainers are freaks like him. What is that man thinking? That old man is totally losing it. We need Prince to step up and quick. I don't want to accept it, but I feel crushed under the avalanche of negative comments coming my way. I turn around trying to find the ones who said those things, but I'm only met with hateful expressions and judging gazes.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
Ah! Sir, please move along. The butler placed his hand on my shoulder and kindly directed me into the main hall. I can still feel their gazes glued to the back of my head. Those who silently tell me, you don't belong here. Girl! Girl, please. Obviously we belong here. Have you seen our fur? It's so pretty. We're pretty. That's it. We're pretty. End of discussion. We're pretty bitches. We are fucking gorgeous. Obviously we belong here. Like, girl, please. I still remember the feeling of entering a throne room for the first time. Places designed with the sole purpose of making everyone feel insignificant, except for the one on the silver chair. Well, I can take that feeling and shove it up my ass. Best line in the entire game. I gotta reread that. Well, I can take that feeling and shove it up my ass. This place is twice as big and 10 times fancier than the throne room back in Laguna Castle. The walls seem to be made out of white gold and jewels. And as you walk, you get the feeling of stepping on diamonds as the tiles shine as if. If you look up, you'll be met by beautiful paintings splattered all over the ceiling, which is being held by many rows of chiseled pillars, carved to perfection by the artist. Finally, my attention is drawn to the end of the room, where an enormous golden statue guards the throne in which no one is currently sitting. We're in Almond's route. I move around the room, trying to remain close to the walls, as I don't want to get swallowed by the sea of people. They are all nobles of different races and backgrounds. Some of them are dancing to the music of the orchestra, but most are engaging in lively conversation. And of course, there are some loners like myself just standing around and looking in the direction of the crowd. Now, here's when I ask myself, what should I do? All I can think about is how not to embarrass myself again. Maybe I could try dancing, although it looks a little complicated for me. Or I could try socializing with the royals, but I honestly don't think I have anything in common with them. There's always the option to go get a snack. I'm feeling quite hungry after all. My mind races as I try to decide on what to do, going through the many different outcomes and possibilities. And most of them end in a very bad note. But I really can't just stand around doing nothing. So I take a deep breath and then move towards the main stage, awkwardly making my way among all the people. I end up by the edges of the crowd, just a few steps away from the dancing patrons. They delicately move in pairs, the men holding the ladies by the waist and then in return placing their hands on their partner's shoulders. From time to time, the lady makes a spin around and the gentleman holds them down, preventing them from touching the ground. The way I see it, it seems simple enough. But that's not the real challenge here. The thing I'll most likely have trouble with is going to be asking a lady to be my dancing partner. With a smile, I nervously approach a fancy-looking vixen, but she looks at me and then ignores me. I try the same with other 4 ladies, but to no avail. I get no positive response from any of them. Tired of it, I decide to just leave and take some fresh air. But as I'm about to exit, I feel a gentle tap on my shoulder. Well, hello! They can see that we're gay. I turn around and meet face to face with a very handsome wolf. His fur is almost completely white, except for some gray areas in his hair, sideburns, and chin. The man seems quite bulky under the many layers of clothing he has on, and his facial features are nice looking. His eyes are green as the leaves of spring, and his expression is warm like the morning sun. Excuse me, by any chance, are you looking for a dance partner? Astonished by the suddenness of the question, I can barely muster a word, which he doesn't seem to mind as he gives me a few seconds to compose myself. Yeah, I am, but none of the ladies seem willing. Well, I am no lady, but if you would be so... I didn't fully read that. But if you would be so kind, do you wish to share this piece with me? The man extends his hand and places it in front of me, making his proposition even clearer. I look around as if we're doing something wrong and then ask him, "You sure we can do that, man? We're both dudes. People are going to start talking." The wolf seems taken aback by my words, but after a few seconds, he just giggles and pays them no mind. I assure you, dancing is not a matter of the sexes. It's a matter of heart. Let them talk as much as they want. Still, if you decide not, we don't have to. No? I mean, if you say it's okay, then I guess I could try. Shyly, I take his hand, and with a smile, he guides us to the dance floor. The unknown wolf takes my waist, meaning that I will be the lady in this situation. So I place my arms around his neck, our bodies very close to one another. The music starts and a few royals give us dirty looks, but no one dares to say anything. At least not out loud. I'm feeling rather nervous, which makes me trip over my own feet more than once, but the wolf is kind enough to help me keep the pace. Try to relax, sir. I find it comforting to look into my partner's eyes while dancing. He holds me closer and then smiles, taking the lead completely. Our faces very close, to the point where I can feel his warm breath hit against my nose. I try to follow him with my clumsy moves, and eventually I ease into it. He's very good at dancing. His movements are swift and delicate, but at the same time carry some force in them, making it easier for me to follow his steps. You're getting into it? First time. Yeah. Not much of a dancer myself. Really? You're natural, then. I smile, feeling rather light as I move around with this stranger. It's hard to explain, but he's got a certain comforting aura around him. You're very good. Thank you. I've had to practice it since I was a child. Royal protocol? Indeed. Here comes the time for me to spin, but I tripped and almost fell. Luckily, he catches me in his arms and holds me tight. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm golden, just a bit dizzy. Well, have you gotten anything to drink? Oh no, it's not because of that. I haven't drank anything yet. Would you like to then? We could share a glass of wine if you fancy. Looking around, I see more and more eyes locked onto us, which makes me feel self-conscious. Yeah, fuck it. Let's have a drink. The man laughs at the bad word and then places me carefully on my feet, making me realize that he had been holding me all this time. My cheeks blush at that, but he seems to pay it no mind, opening a path through the crowd as we move away from the dance floor. This way, then. He says, and I just follow. I don't think he's a prostitute, though. We come to a stop once we reach a pillar far away from the crowd. The sea of people seems to be gathering up front, so I'm guessing he chose this area so we could have a more tranquil chat. Being around too much people sometimes gets to me. Nothing better than to take a breather from time to time, don't you agree? Yeah, not a big fan of crowds either. I feel suffocated after a while.
I don't trust this gay hooker
we get it, Amethyst. We get it. You don't trust him. To be honest, I don't trust him either. He probably wants something. He's probably not a prostitute. Probably isn't gay. Which, to all that, all I have to say is, Yas Queen Slay. We both share a short moment of silence, both of us taking our time to check the other one out. Taking a closer look at him, his face reminds me of someone, but I'm not sure who. Where are my manners? I haven't even introduced myself, have I? My name is Snow Clearwater. Clearwater? I knew I'd seen this man before. Well, I haven't seen him in person ever, but I've heard of him. This man is one of the 5 viceroys who, alongside the king, rule over the kingdom. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Fuck. No. What? I'm sorry. New lore available. Eli will remember that. And to think I would run into such an important figure. Shit, what do I even say? Okay, no reason to fret. I've spoken to the king many times before. I'll just mind my manners and have a normal conversation. My name is Sir Eli Biscotti. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. The man looks at me dumbfoundedly, and after a few seconds of uncomfortable silence, he bursts into laughter. His chuckles are quite adorable, I'll give him that. But why is he laughing? What did I do? Did I do something dumb? I try to play it cool, but I can feel the heat getting to my head. I'm so sorry, Sir Eli. I didn't mean any harm. It's just that we've been talking without honoraries or boundaries this whole time. The contrast is just too funny. I couldn't take it. Please forgive me. He continues to chuckle, and although I feel a little embarrassed, I start to crack too. Yeah, I kinda said fuck in front of you, didn't I? You sure did, but I promise, I don't mind. We share that moment for a bit longer, but eventually we just stop and look at each other. You're nothing like I expected, Sir Eli. Those rumors don't do you any good at all. So, I guess you've heard about my deeds. Well, the whole kingdom knows about it at this point. They paint you like some sort of crazy pyromaniac who's got nothing to lose. Most people are afraid of you. Really? I rub the back of my head and look away. Geez, I knew my reputation was bad, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. I probably should do something about it. I'll ask Almond and see if he's got any ideas about it. So, aren't you scared, Sir Snow? Me? After meeting you? Not at all. I would even say your company is quite lovely. I smile at that, feeling grateful that I'm at least liked by someone. Besides, I'm not the kind of man that listens to rumors anyway. I personally hate them. Wait, there's an NSFW scene here? Shit. That's why I always go through life deciding what to think and do for myself, not depending on what others say. Such as dancing with the pyromaniac. Precisely. Hang on, let me check something. Okay, go over to preferences. Shit. Okay. Precisely. I like this guy. He feels like a breath of fresh air among a bunch of smoke. Yay, arson. God damn it, now I gotta say it. Don't commit arson. Arson is illegal. It is illegal in all 50 states. Don't commit arson. No, Amethyst. No arson. I know your name is in the game title, but no arson. God damn it. I cannot take this seriously at all. Okay. I think we already skipped the NSFW, but I don't know. Same way I feel alongside the other retainers. Although I must be honest with you, our encounter was not entirely random. I had another reason to want to approach you. An ulterior motive, if you want to call it that way. It's nothing bad, I assure you. Well, these things are usually not a good sign, but we've come so far, might as well hear the guy out. Besides, it's to be expected. It's okay, man, just speak your mind. Thank you kindly. He seems relieved after I said that, which means that he must have been holding it in for a while, probably scared that I'll reject him or just leave. So, you're one of the king's retainers, correct? Yeah. So I was wondering if perhaps you know of a man named Almond. He's supposed to be another one of the king's retainers. Are you perhaps a colleague of his? If so, do you have a means to communicate with him? Almond? What could a guy like him need of him? Is he in some sort of trouble? Yeah, I know him. But what's your deal with him? I just need to talk. It's important. The man seems deflected, sad even. I wonder. There's no way. I mean, it's a possibility, but he's a royal! A very important one at that, so surely... Has Almond been If you see him, please let him know that I'll remain in town for the rest of the week. I just need a few minutes for... As the man continues to talk, a butler approaches us and touches Snow by the shoulder. My lord, thank the goddesses I found you. Your presence is required. The prince insisted in meeting with all the viceroys. Can't that wait, Charles? I'm afraid not, sir. You're the last one. The man looks at me, then back at the butler, then at me, and he lastly sighs deeply. Please, Sir Eli, don't forget, you would be doing me a great favor. I'll see you soon. And with that, he waves and then leaves, following the butler back into the crowd. I, on the other hand, just remain there and reflect on that last part of our conversation. What could a man like him want with a guy like Almond? Knowing the wolf, the possibilities are endless. But would he really? Well, I guess my next step on this party should be to find him. It's not like I have many other things to do. And I have a slight suspicion of where he might be. I'm about to leave when I manage to hear a couple of royals talking behind my back, but to my surprise, it is not about me. Could that really be Viceroy Snow? Oh, goddesses! Then, wait. Oh, goddess! Wait. Oh, goddesses, he is. I expected him not to show his face around here. Not after all he's done. The nerve of that man. And to both of his siblings. What a monster! But it's not a surprise, really. His father was also a heathen. His poor wife had to suffer through a lot. Isn't he married himself? To think about all the awful things she must put up with. Given how far away they are, I can hardly hear their conversation, but I know for a fact that they're talking shit about Snow. I want to hear more, but then I remember Snow's own words, and I immediately feel bad with myself. Man approached me, even after hearing all the rumors about me. And here I am, prying about him. So, deciding to be a better person, I leave those people alone and make my way out of the Great Hall. Blows up pancakes with mind. I exit through one of the side doors and into a long hallway. I walk until I reach a flight of stairs, and to the top of those stairs, surely enough, there he is. Oh. Well, hello. Well, hello there. Um, I can't say anything. I can't say what I want to say. I can't say what I want to say. I can't. I simply can't. Finding him was both luck and a hunch. He told me he hated parties, so I guessed he wouldn't be inside the halls. But the king needed him to be here, so he would also be nearby. All of that, plus the fact that he's always liked pretty sights, led me to find him here, sitting on the handrail of a balcony. And as I said, I was lucky enough to find him in the first one I looked into. Because, let me tell you, there are many balconies on this building. I walk closer to him, leaning beside him on the handrail. Doesn't seem like he wants to start a conversation, so I don't speak and just check him out silently. Even though he said he hates this kind of event, he sure is dressed up for the occasion. He's wearing a very fancy emerald color long shirt with brown pants that are tied up by an equally expensive looking leather belt. My eyes are drawn to the shirt, which is partially open, leaving part of his chest exposed to the night. It looks good on him, but I get the feeling it's not supposed to be worn like that. Although that is the almond touch that makes the outfit look unique on him. Hey! Slacking off. His ears twitch as he hears me talk, but he doesn't turn his head around. Instead, he just keeps his eyes glued to the sky. On the contrary, mate, I'm keeping an aerial view. Oh, and have you found anything interesting? Yeah. You. I chuckle at his cheesiness, which I usually find stupid, but this time I think he nailed it. Call me crazy if you want, but the moon is having a certain effect on me. The both of us are alone, sitting by ourselves under the full moon. So, you enjoying the party, mate? Trying to, but the royals make it difficult. Most of them are just stuck up and pretentious jerks. Yeah, I totally get it. Not my kind of party anyway. Yeah, I prefer it when there's more dancing and drinking. Like the ones at the bar. Yeah, totally. If we hadn't been on a mission, I totally would have invited you for a glass or two. And then we would dance until dawn. Talking about it brings me back to that bar. It was a lot dirtier and sweatier, but it had its charm. At least we could have been free to do whatever we wanted. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh! Which one? Um... Yeah, is this where it gets NSFW? Like, if anyone knows, please tell me. Because I'm flipping the fuck out. I'm freaking the fuck out. Ah! Is there even NSFW in this update? I'm also seeing this for the first time. Half the shit I'm reading is blind. I'm reading this shit blind. So I don't know what the fuck it is. And I'm flipping the fuck out. We can't trust anything. We can't trust anything here. Nothing. Hang on, I'm checking something. Like, what? Yeah, if he were here, he would know. But he isn't. Yeah, let's choose the first option anyways. You know, I would have liked that. Almond turns around, his mouth open and his eyes about to leave his sockets. For real? Yeah, I reckon it would be nice to give it a try. Almond liked that. Yay! We get love points. Almond's tail starts to wag behind him, portraying his true feelings. We can always go back. Obviously not today, but around this week. We'll have to see when the time is right. I say that smiling, and he smiles back, looking at me with those big green sparkling eyes and that dashing grin of his. Sweet! We both say nothing else, but soon enough, I remember that I had to give him a message, so I break the silence. You know, I met someone very interesting at the party. Yeah, who was it, and should I be jealous? Maybe. He huffs at that, but I know he doesn't mean anything by it. It's just Almond being Almond. Well, for starters, he was a royal who was not a royal pain in the ass. What else, mate? Well, he was very kind and polite. Oh, and a great dancer. That's because you haven't danced with a real pro. He huffs again. Now I'm starting to wonder if he's actually jealous. Oh my god, he is jelly. Certainly not, right? I mean, he's got no right to be. He's constantly hitting on other guys and girls. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. It's no time to be thinking about that. And he was a viceroy. Snow clear water. Ring any bells? Oh my god. That fucking face! Oh my god! Oh my god, that is beautiful! Hang on, I gotta screenshot that shit. I gotta screenshot that shit. I gotta screenshot that shit because that is so fucking cursed. Almond stays quiet, looking at me dead in the eye, his expression being very hard to read at the moment. I look back at him, unsure of what to do or what to say. He wanted something, didn't he? He finally spoke, looking away from me with a serious expression. He just wanted to talk. He asked me to let you know that he would be here for the rest of the week. I see. Wait, that's all you're going to say? How are you okay? How do you even know this guy? Just drop him, mate. Please. But, Almond, I'm worried now. I know, but he's my problem to deal with. Now please, leave me alone, mate. I need some time to think. I turn around and walk away from him, my head hanging low as my feelings were conflicting right now. I can't help but feel a little bad. After all, this is the first time Almond snaps at me. But the worst part is that I'm not even mad at him for doing so. I'm just worried. Worried about him being in trouble. Worried about this new mysterious person and what he means for the wolf. Oh, that is a typo. That's a typo right there. Yeah, right there. That's a typo. Jade and Amethyst, Mr. Developer, if you're watching this, there's a typo right there. But the thing I'm most worried about is Almond not trusting me enough to talk to me. For a moment I thought he could rely on me, but I guess I was wrong. Although I can't really blame him. After all, I haven't told him anything about my past either. Maybe this is for the best. Maybe it's better if I don't get involved. I've got other things to worry about. And one of them is to find my way back to that ball. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. That's it. That is Almond. Next route. Let me just mentally prepare for a bit. For the next route. Because we're just going to do the entire update tonight. I got no shits to give. Yeah, it only took us like 35 minutes, around there. Anyways, to the next one. No, I don't want to overwrite my save. There we go. They knew. They ought to be ready for what's coming. I'm feeling rather tired as we begin to walk toward the royal castle. Thought of that shadow keeps making me nervous, as if I'm still being watched. Aside from that, the seriousness of my situation has drained my strength more than I anticipated. I mean, suddenly I find that my sister could be involved in a complicated religious dispute. Acalis tried to calm me down by reassuring me that I'll be safe beside the king, but I can't help but feel that even himself doesn't believe that. I'm sure he must be aware of the dangerous situation we've put ourselves in. After all, it's the church we're talking about. They're a huge deal. So if we start poking the wasp nest, there's no turning back. In any case, that doesn't stop us from making haste towards the castle, taking us less than 30 minutes to get there. And we are going to die. I assume you are impressed. How can I not? This place is beautiful. It was built hundreds of years ago, as the dusk of the First Great War drew near. Built by the hands of our inexperienced canine ancestors, it has been remodeled and rebuilt at least 5 times. It looks almost new. Well, it's fairly new. This new model was designed by the first Grandmaster 300 years ago. After the Second Great War, correct? Yes, correct. I see our lessons have not gone in vain. As if you would let me forget any of it with your constant tests. He chuckles at that and then looks at me with a kind smile. Since you're so tired of my classes, you should use this week as a break then. You've earned it.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
15-year-old you would have built in Minecraft,
it's
right?
It's time to drink water.
Last part caught my attention. Week? What do you mean? I thought we were only staying the night. Oh, you didn't know? The king decided to stay for the week. Told me he had some business to take care of and he needed us nearby. Weird. He never mentioned any of it to me. Why do you think that is? Your guess is as good as mine. The king doesn't strike me as the kind of man that'll just forget about stuff like this. Could he be hiding something from me? Why though? What's his game? In any case, I decide not to dwell on it as I follow Acalis into the castle. By the way, why are we posing? Acalis startles me as it's not usually him who starts the conversations. Have you attended a big celebration such as this? Not really, no. You can imagine since you know about my upbringing. Yeah, sure. I just didn't want to make assumptions. That's a good point. Maybe I should put that into practice. I tend to jump to conclusions very quickly. Well, have you? Yes, a few. They're not really that big of a deal. Just a bunch of people pretending to like each other while playing the game. Game? Bureaucracy is like a game. You must decide on your moves carefully or else you might find yourself at a disadvantage. Who you talk to, your way of dressing, the way you speak, act. You need to take all these variables into consideration. So, any recommendations, Mr. Player? Just keep your wits with you and don't trust anybody. Only in the rare cases in which you are of some use to them, people show interest in you. Acalis' words resonate within me, making me fear little what's to come. I don't get much time to dwell on them, though, as we come close to a big crowd that is formed in front of the main entrance. Fuck. All these people look really important and fancy, making me feel really out of place among them. Acalis guides me to an entrance furthest away from the main one, in which a wolf knight is standing guard. Identify yourselves! The guard's rough tone of voice made me jump in place, but luckily Acalis kept his composure and was able to speak to the man. My companion and I are the king's retainers. We were tasked to be here at this hour. If you may ask one of your superiors, you shall see we speak the truth. The wolf eyes us up and down, trying to guess if what Acalis is saying is true or not. Before the man can speak again, a very weak voice interrupts the conversation. Yes, let them through, please. Oh, hiya. See, we just finished Almond's route. Yes, let him through, please. To my delight, a known face makes his appearance from behind the big guard. The small dog seems as nervous as always, but he manages to spare me a smile as he sees me. No, hang on. I gotta pull it up. Because that whatchamacallit, that face that Almond made was hilarious. That face was fucking beautiful.
Wait,
I gotta pull it up. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen. I know I say that shit a lot, but it truly was the greatest thing I have ever seen. It is the greatest thing I have ever seen. The most iconic thing ever. It was beautiful. Looks like he's about to commit a murder. Very well. This way, please. The guard opens a wooden door that leads to a dark hallway, illuminated only by a few candles. You must go on your own, Eli. I have to change into more appropriate attires, and my tailor must be waiting for me somewhere else. I'll see you inside. I nod to that and then enter the hallway, waving my hand to him before the door closes. Yeah, we already read all this, so we're just going to be holding down control for a lot of it. Even my awkward self is bound to strike a conversation, right? I mean, it's not like these people are aliens, even if it sometimes feels like it. In any case, I decide to scan the area, see if I can spot anyone worth talking to. Some of the royals are dancing around, surrounded by a crowd. I decide to not go there since I'm not currently looking for a dance partner. Instead, I walk near a group of people who are chatting with one another by the corners of the room. As I reach them, I put on the best fake smile I can muster and then call their attention. They turn around to look at me and I say, "Hello, my name is..." I decide to introduce myself before I can finish. All of them laugh at me and then stare me down with their judgy eyes. Ah! That is more than enough for my cheeks to turn crimson red. So I walk away from that group, not wanting to give those assholes another reason to mock me. I then tried a few more times with another 3 different groups. All of them bearing similar results. I sigh in desperation, pressing my back against the wall. R.I.P. Eli's fucking sanity. R.I.P. his life. R.I.P. his social life. He's clearly not going to go to prom this year. Why did I expect it to go any different? I'm clearly not like these people. I don't belong among them, and they don't mince their words about it. It's not like I want to be like them anyway. I shouldn't have got my hopes up. That's just stupid of me. Well, no use staying here, I guess. I'll just step outside and wait for the king. If he needs me, I'm sure he'll send someone to look for me. I really need to take a breather. Yeah, I initially thought it was Ellie. I initially thought that his name was Ellie, but it's Eli. After being subject to constant humiliation, I decided to take some fresh air. The sky looks beautiful tonight, and the cold night breeze feels refreshing against my fur. It would be a waste to be stuck inside that castle with those royals. I sigh again, feeling utterly defeated, the glass of wine that I never drank still in my hand. So if we close the gap between the crystals and then divide it by 2, then maybe, just maybe. Here's some whispering in the distance, barely loud enough for me to understand what they're saying. So I can't help but wonder who it might be, since most of the guests are inside the main hall. Curiosity takes over me, and I decide to scan my surroundings, paying close attention to where the whispers are coming from. The darkness is not a big deal, as the moon is full tonight, so the garden is well lit. Besides, there are not many places to hide in here. Oh, hello! Hi! Oh no, the princess. She exists. Eventually I find a strange-looking woman sitting on a stone bench. She's been talking to herself while holding a pen and a small book on her hand. I ponder for a few seconds if it's a good idea to interrupt her, but I'm curious to know what she's up to. So I approach her slowly, trying not to startle her as she seems really focused in what she's doing. Hey, how are you? I say casually, but she didn't even bat an eye towards me. The girl just continues to aggressively write on the paper. She seems to be in some sort of trance. Maybe she's been cursed. What if a spirit took a liking to her and is now forcing her to scribble for the rest of eternity? I chuckle at my own ideas, walking around her and placing myself in front of her. From here I can kind of see what she's noting down. Some sort of mathematical formulas and drawings of crystals. How strange. What if she's a researcher of some sort? I gotta figure out a voice for her. Okay, do I want her to be taken seriously? Should she be taken seriously? Okay. Don't take it seriously. Okay. You spoke to me, yes! She suddenly blurts out, making me jump a little. The lady looks at me through those big glasses or her, never stopping her writing. Yeah. I did. Put it on an Edna mode voice. Yeah, I did. Nice to meet you. I'm specimen number 35. Hang on, I gotta figure out. Elastigirl, put yourself together. Specimen number 35. That shall be your name. Excuse me? I see. Just like the previous 34 specimens, they don't react eagerly to be given their new name. Could that really be bad manners, like Specimen 19 explained? I must dig deeper into this manners term. The woman writes something down on her book, then she stands up from the bench. She keeps her eyes glued to me, inspecting me from top to bottom as if I were some sort of strange creature. And this is the moment when I question my life choices. What was I thinking by approaching this weirdo? Would you consider yourself a male? Huh? I mean, yeah. I say, fascinating. The subject seems to be confused about something as crucial as gender. Could this be a situation that happens to others? Further investigation required. No, wait. I'm a guy. But what sort of question is that? The subject appears to be in a state of distress. He's sweating, his heartbeat is elevated, and he raises his voice even though I'm standing close to him. Oh gosh, this woman is unnerving. Next question, subject 35. Do I identify as a canine? I guess I better answer her without doubting, or else she's going to make a whole deal out of it. Yes, I identify as a fox. Interesting. And as a canine, have you ever felt the need to pee on around your territory? Oh my god! That was beautiful. That was glorious. Slay. And as a canine, have you ever felt the need to pee around your territory, eat raw flesh, and leave bite marks on your romantic interest? What do you take me for? I'm not an animal. Although that last part... I say. So would you consider that you've outgrown your primal instincts in favor of a more civilized way of living? Yeah, sure I did. Damn, I really hope this girl shares with me what she's been smoking because it looks like a trip. Still, that begs a question. Do we evolve to think like this, or are we engineered by a bigger force to be the way we are? Actually, among all the nonsense, that's a good question. Why are we different from the dog, foxes, or wolves that live in the wild? According to the church, we were created differently from the rest of them, but what if that's not true? I mean, there are no other theories. What else could it be, then? No, wait, hold up. I'm letting myself get dragged into the craziness. Alright, next question is... Wait, slow down, please. So, hey, kinda wondering, what's this all about? Girl looks at me confused as if she doesn't understand my language all of a sudden. Merely an experiment. She comments as if this was the most normal thing in the world. Well, what's the investigation about? The girl places a hand on her chin and ponders for a moment before answering. Well, it started as an investigation about social interactions and canine behavior. But I soon grew tired of that, so I decided to start a new investigation about the male species. Although it's been mostly fruitless, as all of my specimens run away after the second or third question. I honestly can't blame these guys. And what's your name? Ah, yes, that is also part of the social code, isn't it? That is one of the conclusions I arrived at my first investigation. My name is Petra, nice to meet you. Wow. This is the first normal thing she's said to me since this whole interaction started. Guess we're making progress. Nice to meet you, Petra. My name is Eli. Yes, I know many things about you, Specimen 35. My father has filled me out on the details. He says you're rude, uneducated, petulant, and apparently you have a bad smell. She leans closer and takes a quick whiff at me. Could it be that my source of information was wrong? Your smell is not disgusting to me. Perhaps it has to do with the variables of the experiment. Specimen 35, run 100 laps around the garden, then come back to me for a new inspection. How about we leave that experiment for another time, yeah? If you insist, we shall make a next appointment. Thank the goddesses. By the way, you mentioned your father. Do I know him? Now that I think about it, Petra looks like someone I know, but who? As she's about to answer, a rustle in the nearby bushes calls our attention, and then we hear some steps approaching from elsewhere. Aw, he has a little bow! He's a little present. He's so cute. They call us as a cutie patootie. He's a cutie patootie. Once I turn around, I'm met with none other than Acalis himself. So it was you who was yelling. I was wondering what that was all about. The wolf approaches us wearing a very fancy-looking suit, which fits him nicely. He looks elegant and important at the same time. Although I guess that's to be expected from the Grand Master. Yo! Where you been? Just busy talking to some of the guests. What are you doing out here anyway? Before I can answer his question, Acalis notices the person behind me. His expression goes from curiosity to a mild annoyance, and then it returns to his usual poker face. Petra, what a surprise. Hiya, cuz, long time no see! Cuz? So this means, of course, how didn't I notice before? She's a spitting image of Acalis and his uncle. That jerk I met at the library earlier today. Wait, if that's true, then that means that asshole told her about all of those things about me. What brings you here? I was just conducting an experiment with a subject here present. Petra points and Acalis lifts a brow at me. I rub the back of my head and give the wolf an awkward smile. He seems to understand that I'll explain later and decides to move away from this topic. So, how's your investigation with the polygon crystals going? Any breakthroughs? Most definitely, I made some amazing discoveries. But I'll have to hold my tongue on this, cuz Dad told me not to mention it to anyone until he made the official announcement. Ah, I see. So your investigation is ready to be published, I suppose? Oh, hiya. Cunning as always, Acalis manages to get information out of her without even trying. The girl covers her mouth and then looks down. Ah, dang it, I messed up again! Anyway, you really should go back to the ball, Petra. The main event is about to start. You might be right. After all, I'm required to be there. Very well, go. Cuz. Test subject 35. Petra closes her notes and walks past us, taking a turn to the right as she reaches a crossroad. The thing is, the main hall is to the left. Did she do that on purpose? Heavens, she never changes. I must admit, she's way weirder than you, and that's saying a lot. I joke, but Acalis doesn't laugh at it. Maybe it's not the right time. She's a great investigator, but she gets lost in her own world too often for her own good. Is she really that big of a deal? Yeah. Her work is actually impressive. My uncle thinks I don't know, but I know. She lets it slip from time to time. What's her investigation about? Oh, I don't think they do. I seriously don't think they do. But yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm pretty sure Callis is gay, so there's that. What's her investigation about? Well, I guess there's no harm in telling you. So she's been investigating for the past few years the properties of quartz and their possible use in magic manipulation. You see, it's been discovered recently that some of these crystals have a minor resonance with Crim. Rubies, for example, can store an excessive amount of Crim, which upon its release burns at a high temperature, creating fire. So what you're trying to say is that rocks can explode now. No, it's not only that. How do I explain this? Imagine the moon. How do you propose it shine its light upon us? I have no idea. Well, astrologists have discovered that the moon is actually a big rock in space. To put it in simpler words for you. And that rock is capable of channeling the energy the sun gives it and then shine it back at us. But the moon doesn't store the energy, it just reflects it. That also happens with certain quartz. They reflect the Crim. But in a hypothetical case, if we discover a crystal which is stable enough to store Crim within it, the possibilities are endless. We could store infinite amount of energy. New lore available! Yay! The wolf places his hand on his chin and looks away, lost in thought. I mean, it sounds like a fairy tale to me. It may not be. And that is worrisome. Could it be the last straw she needs to take away my position as a Grand Master? Goddesses know if she were to be the Grand Master, it would all be turned upside down. Wait, she has a right to become the Grand Master? I thought that spot is yours by law. It technically is, but if the Grand Master is deemed incompetent by both keepers, by the bookkeepers, they can hold a vote to pass the mantle to the next candidate of the family. In this case, it would be her, not my uncle, since the title already skipped his generation. Although, to be honest, if she became the Grand Master, I know very well that my uncle would assume all the responsibilities and do all the work for her. So, pretty much she would only be his puppet. I'm going to stop a bit for the ad. Want to break from the ads? Advertisements. Oh no, the ads. No ads dance. Well, in a way. But she's always been, so nothing would change. Silence fell upon us all of a sudden. Akala seems to be conflicted about something, but I'm not sure if I should ask him. After all, this is family business, and I don't want to intrude in his life. Should we ask if he's okay or comment on the beautiful weather? Nice weather today, isn't it? I'm trying to pop my ear. Okay, let's ask him. We're gonna ask you, Akalis. Are you okay, buddy? Huh? Wolf barely acknowledges what I said, as he's been staring at thin air this whole time. And Andress, for your thoughts? It's nothing really. I'm a bit worried. Petra may be a little over her head, but she's already published 2 different investigations about the flow of magic. Meanwhile, I haven't posted nothing I can call my own. I've only aided with other investigations, and my own personal one has been stuck for a few years. Wolf seems legitimately concerned about this matter. I feel really bad about him. I may not get it entirely, but I'm sure he must have his reasons to worry about his position being questioned. So I place my hand on his shoulder and try to muster a warm smile to try and cheer him up. Hey, for all I know, you're the smartest person in this entire castle. Don't give up so easily, I know you'll find a solution. Besides, you got the king's support, right? Akalis liked that. Yay. That seemed to brighten up his mood. Wolf's cheeks turn a little red as he looks away bashfully. Well, let's not waste any more time. I'm sure the king must be waiting. Wolf's behavior returns to normal, which means he's back to his usual poker face. Want to go together, then? He shakes his head in denial as he crosses his arms. No, sorry, I'll have to decline. I must meet with some of the bookkeepers before the main event starts. You, on the other hand, should not leave the main hall anymore. You're needed there. He scolds me as if I were a mere kid who didn't know what he's doing. And in a sense he's right, but he didn't have to put it that way. Yeah, I'll go back, don't worry. He smirks back at me, relaxing a little when he hears me goofing off. Good, at least you do know how to listen. Good boy. He turns around and then waves his hand back at me, leaving my side as he walks toward the main hall. I watch him vanish into the sea of people. I'm still a little worried about his reaction, but there's really no time for that now. There are many things I gotta worry about. And one of them is to find my way back to that ball. Last route. Past life is never gonna hold me. It's only like another 20 minutes. They knew. They ought to be ready for what's coming. That is the third time I've read this today. As Roderick walks in front of me, I start to trail behind his fast steps as many concerns start to burden my mind. If what Roderick said is true, I am already balls deep in a lot of trouble. Church will make sure to make my life a living hell, making my mission to find my sister a lot harder. My only hope is the knight walking 10 steps ahead of me, who seems to be getting annoyed by my attitude. So he comes back and grabs me by the wrist, forcing me to move forward. I complained, but eventually gave in, keeping up the pace and trying to push all those thoughts aside, at least for tonight. This way. Wolf says, snapping me out of my thoughts. He's once more a few steps ahead of me. Because I'm not smart. I'm not smart, Damien. I'm not smart. Wolf says, snapping me out of my thoughts. He's once more a few steps ahead of me, which makes me groan as I want to take in all of this new environment. Please wait! Just for a minute! To my surprise, the man actually stops on his tracks and turns around. What is it now? Need to pee or something? What? No. Not that. He laughs at my expense, and I can't help but blush from the embarrassment. You're such an ass sometimes. Roderick just shrugs it off and then looks into the crowd of people that has formed in front of the castle gates. I've been on my Walter arc. That blocked term. Roderick just shrugs it off and then looks into a crowd of people that has formed in front of the castle gates. I turn my gaze in that direction and then can't help but ask him, this sure is the event of the year, right? I suppose it is. I giggle at Roderick's bluntness, but the wolf just grunts. He clearly doesn't find it funny. It is not really that big of a deal. Just your typical feast, accompanied by some dancing and lots of talking. Fader. Damn. Walletta. Ha! Well, it may not be a big deal for you, but I don't think I'll ever get used to this environment. You'll do fine. He had a glow up. You'll have a week to get used to it. Huh? What do you mean? Are we just staying for the night? As long as my orders go, we will remain in this castle for an entire week, starting tomorrow. Whose orders? The king's directly. Why? Got a problem? No, not at all. It's just unexpected. The king doesn't strike me as the kind of man that'll just forget about stuff like this, and this is too perfect to be a coincidence. There must be a hidden reason behind his actions. I'm sure. In any case, I decide not to dwell on it as I follow Roderick into the castle. Roderick now moves along the crowd with ease. Me, on the other hand, am struggling a little as I'm getting pushed around more than usual. Luckily for me, the wolf sees this and grabs me by the wrist once more, making way among the people and getting us out of there. While I'm thankful for getting me away from all the people, my wrist hurts a little since he's not exactly being gentle. Still, he won't hear me complaining about it. This way. Roderick guides me to an entrance furthest away from the main one, in which a knight is standing guard. Identify yourselves! The man's rough exterior made me feel a little uneasy, but of course that didn't affect Roderick one bit. With his usual commanding attitude, the black wolf stands in front of the guard and looks down on him as he speaks. Have your eyes gone bad, soldier? Look at the crest on my chest and tell me you don't recognize it. My apologies, sir. It's quite dark. The man seems intimidated by the wolf, which I can totally relate to, but before he could muster another word, a shy voice interrupted their conversation. Yes. Let him through, please. To my delight, a known face makes his appearance from behind the big crowd. The small dog seems as nervous as always, but he manages to spare me a smile as he sees me. Very well. This way, please. The guard opens a wooden door that leads to a dark hallway, illuminated only by a few candles. Go on, runt. I'm gonna speak to the guards and perform my duties before attending the party. Try not to be a burden for the king. I nod to that and then enter the hallway, waving my hand to him before the door closes. Hang on, I want to read one more line. I want to read one more line before we really get into the story. Well, I can take that feeling and shove it up my ass. This place is twice as big and 10 times fancier than the throne room back in Laguna Castle. That's it. I let my stomach decide for me, and before I can notice, I'm moving towards the banquet. Lobster, beef, chicken, soups, pig, fruit salad, and many other things. I stand there with my plate in hand, staring at the overwhelming amount of food on the table. There's so many options that I can't decide what to take. Should I perhaps try the lobster? It'll be a first for me. What if I don't like it? I don't want to throw the food away. All my instincts tell me that's a big no-no. Maybe it'll be better if I just stick with what I know. After all, you can never go wrong with beef. Meat has always been my favorite, and there are many appetizing plates sitting in front of me. Oh, who's he? Who's he? Before I can take anything, though, my attention is drawn towards my right, to a group of people who are chatting happily. In the middle of them, there is a middle-aged fellow around the same age as Mr. Biscotti, give or take. But the man itself is not what calls my attention. What really piqued my interest is the crest hanging from his neck. He's from the church, and given how the other royals are fawning over him, I would bet on my life he's a big deal. As curiosity took over me, I slowly started to approach the group, pretending to be mostly interested in the food and not them. My Lord Cardinal, did you get the donation to my family? Why is he wearing sunglasses? This fucker's wearing sunglasses, and it's amazing. Wait, are they sunglasses or is that a blindfold? It's not sunglasses. Oh, it's a blindfold. Sad. I thought they were sunglasses. It's a bandana, blindfold. Okay. It's just the angle that I saw them. But yeah. Yeah, it's a blindfold. My Lord Cardinal, did you get the donation my family sent to you? We were trying to help the needy with it, but if you need more, don't hesitate to ask. Said a female royal who had a sober expression, making me almost puke. Suck up! You want to do a nice deed, there is no need to announce to the whole town. And now then, did you say Cardinal? Wait, that doesn't mean that he's only one stop under the Holy Messenger himself. He's one of the highest ranking members of the church. What is that face? The inner circle of cardinals. Now I see why all of these people are surrounding him like hungry wolves ready to leap at him. And what about your work with those barbarians, Your Holiness? Are we really safe? My family fields are close to the border, and we always feared that those monsters will attack us. I assure you, your fields are safe. I keep a constant eye on the Crusaders' work. The barbarians will not trouble us. Have faith in the church's work. The royal sighs in relief, sipping on his glass of wine. Have faith in the church, he says. What a joke. By the way, Your Holiness, have you heard rumors about these pillow bidders? Is there anything the church can do to fix them? A knot forms in the back of my throat as I hear the woman say those words. I clench my fist and try to act cool, but I really want to bash her head against the table and break her nose. Keep it cool, Eli. I've heard there's even bars and hotels where there's heathens meet. How disgusting. So, what's to you, bitch? Why can't you just leave us alone? Perhaps torture would be the better method to teach them a lesson. Some of them are too far gone. Kinky. A noble man intervenes. I have a better idea. What if I take this glass and shove it up your... Those poor souls have lost the way, brother. They're trailing off from the path of the goddesses. I'll finish that thought for you, Eli. Why don't you take that glass of wine and shove it up her ass? If nothing, we should pity them, not torture them. And I assure you, the church's members are working their hardest to set them straight. We will help them see the light. We didn't ask to be born this way. They don't know what it's like. To be hunted down just for the things you like. We just want to live our lives and be left alone. Why is it so hard to understand? Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an appointment with a roasted beef. How many things is Eli going to shove in his ass? Oh no! Oh no! All the royals make way for the Cardinal, letting him pass. It took me a second to notice, but he is now standing next to me. I thought about running, but that would look too suspicious, wouldn't it? What am I supposed to do? I don't want him to notice me. The man standing beside me picks up a plate and grabs some meat from the buffet. I remain motionless, trying not to make any eye contact with him, although that would be impossible since he's got his eyes covered by red cloth. Is he blind? Maybe it's safe to give him a few looks. It's not like he's going to notice or anything. So I decided to give a few subtle peeks. At first glance, he looks like a normal coyote, albeit a little overweight. But upon closer inspection, I can notice a few key details. For starters, it seems like his right arm has been chopped off entirely, as I don't manage to see it, even underneath that cape of his. Aside from that, he's got a very big scar that covers part of his face. And those two things lead me to guess that this man was a warrior at some point in his life. Which makes sense given the fact that he's got that emblem of the Crusader strapped to his belt. It makes me wonder how he lost his arm, though. Quite the feast, wouldn't you agree? The man suddenly says. I look around trying to find the person he's speaking to, but I see no one. Could he be speaking to me? Did he notice my presence? Or is he just speaking in the air? Excuse me, are you talking to me? Who else? I don't see anyone around. The man joked, clearly indicating that he can't see. I nervously chuckle, not wanting to make the situation more awkward. Yeah, it's alright. Food's good. His ears twitch for a moment as he turns towards me. That accent. Are you from the Undercity, perhaps? I place my right hand on my throat as if that would make me speak any differently. Was it really that bad? I've been practicing my noble speech after all. I don't know what to say, so I just remain quiet as I grab some more food. Oh, my apologies. Did I make you uncomfortable? I didn't mean it in a bad way, of course. I just thought to start a conversation. Now I feel a little embarrassed. Am I being a jerk? Am I the asshole? No, it's okay. No need to apologize. You believe I was looking down on you? Like you don't belong here? I silently gasp at the man's comment, unable to formulate an answer. When I was a commander, I used to find many youth like that. They felt like they didn't belong anywhere, until they found their calling at the service of the goddesses. Could you perhaps be interested? I don't want to join your cult! I must decline, your holiness. Cassian is fine. Yeah, Sir Cassian, as I was saying, I must decline. I already have a calling of my own. The man smiles at me, tilting his head in my direction. Ah, what pity. You'd make a great addition to our ranks. The man continues to grab food, placing it all on his plate. He must really enjoy eating, as his plate can barely hold anything else. That or he's not aware of how much food there is already. Really? How can you tell? The coyote seems perplexed by my question, but he just smiles and finally stops taking food. Your aura. Something unique about you. Aura? Unique? Yes, it's a mixture of many things. What the actual heck? What is this man talking about? Is he high? And now you seem confused. Allow me to explain. When the goddesses take our sight, they bless us with the gift of insight. So you are blind! I cover my mouth in shame, noticing that I might have said something insulting to him. The coyote just laughs and shrugs it off. Blind as a mole, yes, but I can see so much. A lot more than when I had eyes. Had eyes? Does that mean the church scooped them out of his sockets? Why did I just picture just a guy with a spoon? That is completely and utterly cursed. Oh my, did I spook you? No, I'm just surprised, that's all. It's a tradition. 3 cardinals must lose their sight to gain the gift of the goddesses. Besides, who sees no evil does no evil, right? Yeah, of course. Well, I'm not sure how the saying goes, but whatever makes him feel good. Still, I think it's crazy. I could never go through such a thing. By the way, what is your name? You've yet to introduce yourself. Oh shit, should I tell him my real name? I don't know if that's a good idea given the fact that I'm conducting an investigation on the church. I'm Anthony. Well, nice to meet you, Anthony. Likewise. I am sweating buckets trying to come up with something to say. Unfortunately, I literally have nothing in mind to talk about. As I'm about to give up, I feel a strong grip press against my shoulder. I look behind me, and there he is, my savior! Thank the goddesses someone I know showed up. Roderick looks very fancy, rocking a fur-based coat, a brownish cape, and a suit. I offer him a relieved smile as a token of my appreciation for saving me from this situation, but instead of smiling back or even acknowledging me, Wolf keeps his gaze on Cassian. Seems like we have company, Anthony. Long time no see, Sir Roderick. Huh, weird he says that, but he can't... Nah, forget it, I'm too confused to try and explain the joke. What is going on? How does he know Roderick? Because of his aura? But, wait, how does he know his name? Do these two know each other? Cassian. Blunt as always, don't you? Wolf gives Cassian a death stare and a growl. I can cut the tension with a knife. Roderick with his typical aggressive attitude and Cassian with his condescending smirk. I really want to ask Roderick what his deal is, but as I'm about to open my mouth, the bigger male tightens his grip on my shoulder. What are you doing here? Me? Enjoying the good food and the good company, of course. He turns in my direction as he says that. I wouldn't miss this celebration for the world. The coyote's smirk widens in a way that almost seems mocking. Meanwhile, Roderick growls at him, keeping his eyes on the man at all times. It feels like he's seizing him, as if he thought the Cardinal would jump and attack us at any moment. Meanwhile, I just stand there, as still as a statue, unable to comprehend what's going on. Come, we're leaving. Huh? We're leaving. The wolf grabs my wrist and pretty much forces me away from the coyote. I look up at Roderick, trying to tell him with my eyes to let me go, but he was not looking at me at all. He was just staring at the door. I'll see you soon. Anthony. Cassius said with a smirk that gives me the chills. Roderick dragged me out of the castle and into the gardens. Once there, he hides behind a wall and places one hand on each side of my head, covering me with his huge body. He keeps us very close to the wall in an attempt to not drag any unwanted attention to ourselves. He is currently saying nothing. He just looks at me intensely, with his eyes never leaving mine. I can feel the heat of his body seeping onto mine as we're extremely close to each other. Aside from that, the agitated breath of the man hits my nose, his face mere inches away from mine. And to top it all off, his scent is extremely intoxicating. It's very earthly and masculine, but he's tried to mask with a vanilla-scented cologne. His musk mixed with the vanilla creating a new scent which is both sweet and bitter. I try to mask the fact that I'm enjoying being so close to him, but I'm honestly getting lightheaded. And I'm sure that I must be blushing at least a little. I continue to remain speechless, waiting for the man to say something, or to at least make a sound, but he doesn't. What's gone into him? I can't read him at all. I have so many questions. Are you okay? His voice is calm, and it doesn't carry any anger, which is weird. For a second there, I thought he was mad. Furious, even. I mean, he found me talking with the Cardinal of the church right after he told me to keep the distance. And I thought he was going to yell at me, snap at me. But all this time, he was worried. What were you thinking talking to a man like that, runt? I'm sorry. I didn't know who he was, and before I could notice, I was trapped in a conversation with him. Wolf sighs deeply, looking at me with a mixture of annoyance and worry in his eyes. What did you two talk about? It was a weird conversation, to be honest. We started talking about food, and then he asked me where I was from. After that, he just started to rant about the calling of the church and some sort of ritual in which they take your eyes off. It was honestly very creepy. Did you say anything to him about who you were or what your intentions are? No. Nothing at all. I even introduced myself with a fake name. Good, good. Although he most likely already knows who you are. After all, nothing that happens in the church goes past the three of them. The Cardinals? Roderick nods to my question and then sighs deeply once more. They are the highest authority inside the church. There is nothing they don't know, and nothing happens without the three of them being involved somehow. Cassian, the Cardinal of Strength, and Gremlin's Chosen One. That is his full title. What about the other two? Are they here as well? Roderick ponders for a moment and shakes his head in denial. Celeste and Micah. No, I don't think so. New lore available! Yay! I haven't seen them, and it's not usual for the Cardinals to leave the Holy Land. So I'm guessing Cassian is here for a good reason. Elden Ring-ass boss name, yes. You know it? No, I have no clue, runt. Wow. This is the most Roderick has ever talked to me. This is the most Roderick conversation. I guess he's really into this whole go against the church's business, or maybe there's something deeper that I don't know yet. Now that makes me wonder. Do you have history with this Cassian fella? Roderick tenses for a second, his face showing a mix of disgust and fear. Maybe I shouldn't have asked. It's probably a touchy subject for him. I really want to know, though. Let it go or press further. Which option is best to kiss Roderick? Because I would thoroughly enjoy giving him a kiss. The location is variable. Let it go, Elsa. Yes! Hey, it's okay, man. You don't have to tell me. I press my hand against his beating chest. Think we have to let it go. Let it go. I can't hold it back anymore. Let it go. Let it go. Turn away and slam the door. I should not have done that. I pressed my hand against his beating chest. His heart is going so fast that I believe it might explode. Cold never bothered him anyways. Slowly the wolf relaxes and then he returns to his normal behavior. I look into his eyes once more and now my heart skips a beat. There was a certain sadness and longing in them that I've never seen before. No, wait, scratch that. I've seen it a few times. Every time he looks into that ring on his neck, he has the same look on his eyes. Roderick liked that. Yeah. Thank you. He doesn't elaborate or say anything else. He just moves a few steps away from me. Alright, get your ass moving, runt. I suspect the king wants us by his side at the time of the prince's arrival. It should be soon. My cheeks are probably still a little red from our previous interaction, but I try to play it cool and act as if nothing happened. Got it. I'll, go back there then. The wolf grunts and then turns around, not sparing me another word as he walks back to the grand hall. I, on the other hand, decide to remain there for a little longer, trying to compose myself. He was so close. Mere inches. If I had pressed just a bit forward, we could have... I slapped myself in the face softly with both hands. Gotta focus on tonight. There's no time to think about stuff like this. There's so many other things that I gotta worry about. And one of them is to find my way back to that ball. Are we just gonna get lost? Because the cold never bothered him anyway. Okay, I actually have something to say to this. Jaden, Amethyst, Mr. Developer. Don't worry about taking a long-ass time. Quality over quantity. I would much rather an update be delayed 500 fucking times than be released on time and be a mess. That's just my personal thoughts on it. Take your time and slay. Yeah. That's how I feel about everything. I would much rather something be delayed than be released on time. It was a really good update. Now, I have a VOD to edit. Yeah, sometimes y'all just need a break. Well, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.